So it's time for chapter 2 of The Psychology of Money. Luck and risk. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Luck and risk are siblings. They are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by forces other than individual effort. NYU professor Scott Galloway has related an idea that is so important to remember when judging success, both your own and others. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Bill Gates went on to the only went to one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer. The story of how Lakeside School, just outside of Seattle, even got a computer is remarkable. Bill Douglas was a World War II Navy pilot turned high school math and science teacher. He believed the book study wasn't enough without real world experience. He also realized that we'd need to know something about computers when we got to college, recalled late Microsoft co founder Paul Allen. In 1968, Douglas petitioned the Lakeside School Mothers Club to use the proceeds from the annual rummage sale, about 3,000, to lease a teletype Model 30 computer hooked up to General Electric's mainframe terminal for computer time sharing. The whole idea of time sharing only got invented in 1965, Gates later said. Someone was pretty forward thinking. Most university graduate schools did not have a computer anywhere near as advanced as Bill Gates has had access to in eighth grade, and he couldn't get enough of it. Gates was 13 years old in 1968 when he met classmate Paul Allen. Allen was obsessed with the school's computer, and the two hit it off. Lakeside Computer wasn't part of its general curriculum. It was an independent study program. Bill and Paul could toy away with the thing at their leisure, letting their creativity run wild. After school, late into the night, on weekends. They quickly became computer experts. During one of their late night sessions, Allen recalled Gates showing him a Fortune magazine and saying, "What do you think it's like to run a Fortune 500 company?" Allen said he had no idea. "Maybe we'll have our own computer company someday," Gates said. Microsoft is now worth more than $1 trillion. A little quick math. In 1968, there were roughly 303 million high school age people in the world, according to the UN. About 18 million of them lived in the United States. About 270,000 of them lived in Washington State. A little over 100,000 of them lived in Seattle area, and only about 300 of them attended Lakeside School. Start with 303 million, end with 300. 1 in a million high school age students attended the high school that had the combination of cash and foresight to buy a computer. Bill Gates happened to be one of them. Gates is not shy about what this meant. If there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft, he told the school's graduating class in 2005. Gates is strategically smart, even more hardworking, and as a teenager had a vision for computers that even most seasoned computer executives couldn't grasp. He also had a 1 in a million head start by going to school at Lakeside. Now, let me tell you about Gates' friend, Kent Evans. He experienced an equally powerful dose of luck, close sibling, risk. Bill Gates and Paul Allen became household names thanks to Microsoft's success. But back at Lakeside, there was a third member of the gang of high school computer prodigies. Ken Evans and Bill Gates became friends in eighth grade. Evans was, by Gates' own account, the best student in the class. The two talked on the phone ridiculous amounts, Gates recalls in the documentary Inside Bill's Brain. I still know Ken's phone number, he says, 525 7851. Evans was as skilled with computers as Gates and Allen's. Lakeside once struggled to manually put together the school's class schedule, a maze of complexity to get hundreds of students the classes they needed at times that didn't conflict with other courses. The school tasked Bill and Kent, children, by any measure, to build a computer program to solve the problem. It worked, and unlike Paul Allen, Kent shared Bill's business mind and enormous ambition. Kent always had the big briefcase like a lawyer's briefcase, Gates recalls. We were always scheming about what we'd be doing 5 or 6 years in the future. Should we go be CEOs? What kind of impact could you have? Should we go be generals? Should we go be ambassadors? What it was, Bill and Kent knew they'd do it together. After reminiscing on his friendship with Kent, Gates trails off. We would have kept running together. I'm sure we would have gone to college together. Kent could have been a founding partner at Microsoft with Gates and Allen's, but it would never happen. Kent died in a mountaineering accident before he graduated high school. Every year there are around 3 dozen mountaineering deaths in the United States. The odds of being killed on a mountain in high school are roughly 1 in a million. Bill experienced a 1 in a million luck by ending up at Lakeside. Ted Evans experienced a 1 in a million risk by never getting to finish what he and Gates set out to achieve. The same force, the same magnitude, working in opposite directions. Luck and risk are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by focus other than individual effort. They're so similar that you can't believe in one without equally respecting the other. They both happen because the world is too complex to allow 100% of your actions to dictate 100% of your outcomes. They are driven by the same thing. You are one person in a game with 7 billion other people and infinite moving parts. The accidental impact of actions outside your control can be more consequential than the ones you consciously take, but both are hard to measure and hard to accept that they too often go overlooked. For every Bill Gates, there is a Kent Evans, who is just as skilled and driven but ended up on the other side of life's roulette. If you give luck and risk their proper respect, you realize that when judging people's financial success, both your own and others, it's never good or as bad as it seems. So there's a line here, so I'm gonna stop here for now and pick up the rest of chapter two another day, but hopefully you found some value in reading from the psychology of money. Thanks and have a good day.